$1,240. That is the monthly profit from a single app that does exactly one thing. It settles arguments between couples using AI logic. This isn't a complex software suite or a massive enterprise tool. It is a micro app built in a weekend. The startup cost for this specific project was exactly $75. While everyone else is trying to build the next billion-dollar unicorn, smart creators are quietly dominating the petty problem market. These are novelty apps that solve small, high-emotion human conflicts using LLMs. In this blueprint, I am breaking down the exact strategy to identify these high-engagement niches and build them without writing a single line of code. We are talking about apps like an AITA Judge or a passive-aggressive email decoder that people can't help but share.
So what exactly is an AI micro app? Unlike traditional software, these are single-purpose tools designed for high-frequency, low-friction interaction. They leverage the reasoning power of large language models to provide entertainment or quick resolutions to everyday social friction. Take the argument settler concept. Two people record their sides of a disagreement, and the AI processes the audio to provide a neutral, often humorous verdict. It is the perfect mix of utility and viral potential because the results are inherently shareable on social media. The secret is focusing on petty problems. These are issues that aren't life-changing, but are emotionally charged enough for someone to spend $2 on a deep analysis. This is where the passive income loop truly begins to scale.
The timing for this is perfect right now because API costs have plummeted. What used to cost dollars to process now costs fractions of a cent. You are essentially arbitraging the intelligence of models like GPT-4o for a massive markup in the form of a fun app experience. You don't need a computer science degree to do this. The barrier to entry has moved from knowing how to code to knowing how to prompt. If you can describe a problem and a funny way to solve it, you have the foundation for a profitable micro app. This strategy is for the intermediate creator who is tired of chasing low-margin affiliate sales. We are building real digital assets that you own, which can be monetized through ads, subscriptions, or one-time deep analysis credits.
Let's talk about who this is for. If you're a student, a 9-to-5 worker, or a stay-at-home parent with a few hours a week, this is the ultimate side hustle. It requires very little maintenance once the logic is set up and the app is live. Most people overcomplicate business. They think they need a revolutionary idea. In reality, you just need to solve a common annoyance in a way that makes people smile. The argument settler works because it turns a negative social interaction into a game. But the real money isn't in the obvious part. It isn't just about the app itself. It's about the data and the recurring engagement. I'm going to show you how to turn a one-time user into a monthly subscriber by adding personality packs to your AI. Before we dive into the build, you need to understand the novelty loop. This is why apps like this go viral on TikTok and Reels. People love seeing AI roast their friends or settle their petty disputes. This organic traffic is your biggest growth lever. I've seen creators hit their first $1,000 month within 90 days of launching their first micro app. It isn't magic, it's just positioning. You are placing your app exactly where people are already looking for entertainment. Ready to see the actual build process? We are moving from the why to the how. I'm going to show you the exact stack of tools you need to get this live for less than the cost of a nice dinner. Let's get into the blueprint.
Step 1 is the setup. You don't need a server farm. You need a no-code app builder like FlutterFlow or Bubble. These platforms allow you to drag and drop your interface while handling all the complex backend work for you behind the scenes. Your total overhead here is roughly $25 for the platform subscription and another $50 for your initial API credits with OpenAI or Anthropic. That is your entire factory ready to produce income-generating apps 24/7. Once your accounts are live, you connect them using an API key. This is like plugging a brain into your app's body. It takes about 5 minutes, and suddenly your simple interface has the intelligence of a multi-billion-dollar AI model. Step 2 is the logic. For an argument settler, you use a process called prompt engineering. You tell the AI, you are a sarcastic but fair judge. Listen to these 2 audio transcripts and decide who is right based on common sense and humor. This prompt is your secret sauce. By tweaking the instructions, you can create entirely different app experiences without changing the code. One app becomes a relationship coach, while another becomes a roast master, all using the same basic structure. The key is to keep the input simple. Users hate typing. That is why we use audio processing. By integrating an API like Whisper, your users can just talk to the app, making the experience feel premium and high-tech.
Step 3 is the integration. In FlutterFlow, you can easily add an API call action. When the user hits settle this, the app sends their audio or text to the AI and waits for the response. It feels like magic to the user, but it's just a simple data loop. You can even add a thinking animation to build suspense. This increases the perceived value of the result. If the AI answers too fast, people think it's a random generator. If it thinks for 3 seconds, they value the verdict more. This is the intermediate part of the strategy. You aren't just making a rare, you are designing a user experience that feels like a premium service. This is what allows you to charge for deep analysis later on.
Step 4 is the launch. You don't need a marketing budget. You need a share button that generates a beautiful branded image of the AI's verdict. When users share their AITA results on Reddit or Twitter, they do the marketing for you. Focus on TikTok. Create a few videos of you and a friend using the app to settle a real funny argument. Who should do the dishes, or is a hot dog a sandwich? These relatable debates are gold for the algorithm. Once you get your first 1,000 users, the data will tell you what to do next. If people are using the app for relationship advice, you lean into that. If they are using it for work disputes, you build a professional mode. Step 5 is scaling. Once one app is making $200 a month, you don't just stop. You clone the project, change the prompt, and launch a second app in a different niche. This is how you build a portfolio of micro apps that aggregate into a full-time income. Think of it like digital real estate. Each app is a small property that pays you rent. With no code, you can manage 10 of these apps as easily as one. The maintenance is minimal because the AI handles the heavy lifting of content generation. The math is simple. 5 apps making $200 each equals $1,000 a month in passive income. This isn't a dream. It's a logical outcome of building simple tools for a massive, bored audience. Now, let's look at the real numbers and the monetization math.
Let's get real about the numbers. To hit $1,000 a month, you don't need millions of users. If you have 5,000 active users and you monetize with a mix of AdMob and a $199 deep analysis purchase, your math starts to look very healthy. AdMob pays you for every 1,000 impressions. In a Novelty app where users are clicking around and sharing results, those impressions add up fast. But the real whale strategy is the in-app purchase for premium verdicts. People will pay for deep analysis because it validates their ego. If the AI gives a 3-page legal-style verdict on why their roommate is wrong for stealing their milk, that is worth $2 of entertainment to them.
Your expenses are your biggest advantage. Unlike a physical business, your cost of goods is almost zero. You pay for the API call only when a user actually uses the app. If nobody uses it, your cost is nearly zero. If 1 million people use it, the revenue scales far faster than the cost. Average API cost for a single argument verdict is about 0.005 cents. If you sell that verdict for $1.99, your profit margin is over 99%. Even with platform fees from Apple and Google, you are keeping the vast majority of every dollar. This is why the micro app strategy beats almost every other side hustle. You aren't trading time for money. You are trading a one-time logic build for a recurring high-margin revenue stream that operates while you sleep.
Now, who should not do this? If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme where you click a button and money falls out, this isn't it. You still have to design a good prompt and do the initial setup in FlutterFlow. But if you can follow a blueprint and spend a few weekends learning the basics of no-code, the upside is massive. The top earners in this space aren't geniuses. They are just consistent. They launch, they test, and they iterate. The math recap is simple. $75 startup, 10 hours of build time, and a potential for $1,000 per month. Even if your first app only makes $100, you've learned a skill that allows you to build an infinite number of these assets.
To take this to the next level, you stack these apps. Once you have a petty problem portfolio, you can cross-promote them. If someone finishes an argument settle, you show them a button for your AITA Judge app. This triples your user lifetime value. The top earners also focus on shareable results. They make the AI output look like a premium certificate or a funny social media card. This turns every user into a micro-influencer for your brand, driving down your acquisition cost to zero. This is how you move from a side hustle to a real business. You are building a brand around AI entertainment. It is a niche that is only going to grow as people get more comfortable interacting with LLMs in their daily lives. If you spend 2 hours tonight setting up your FlutterFlow account and writing your first prompt, you could have a working prototype by the weekend. The only thing standing between you and that first $1,000 month is the decision to start. The blueprint is in your hands. You know the niche, you know the tools, and you know the math. This is the most accessible way to build a high-margin digital asset in 2026. Don't overthink it. Just build the first version. I'll see you in the App Store. Go build something petty, something funny, and something that pays you. The petty problem loophole is open. Now go walk through it.